Good evening, everyone, and thank you very much for being here. It's always great to follow speakers like Pam and David, who express so well why we're here and the importance of what we do. And so I'm really pleased to be here tonight. It's a pleasure to be spending this evening with all of you, our supporters and friends of Monell. And for us, these meetings matter, not only because, as David said, they give us a chance to update you on some of the wonderful achievements we've done over the past year and some of the directions and things we're taking, but they allow us the chance to connect the science to the people who matter, all of you who help bring our science to reality, bring what we do out to the world, and come together to talk about the impact that we're sharing and building together. So I'm really pleased and I'm really thankful that all of you are here tonight, and also thanks to, as David said, to those who haven't been able to make it tonight. But I do have to say, and as David has said, this past year has been an exceptional year for Monell, a very impactful year for Monell. Across the board, we are seeing momentum in the science we are advancing, and importantly, we're seeing momentum and success in the people we are developing, and in the community we are building around our work. And that's really, really important for us to move further, move faster, and make advancements in chemosensory science. And a big part of that momentum in the last year has really come from a deliberate effort to engage more deeply and more broadly with our community in events like this and others. And so over the past year, we've worked at looking at how we can expand and connect with our different partners from industry, our supporters here in the room today, but also the wider scientific and public communities, both here in Philadelphia, nationally and also internationally. And so one achievement that I would really like to tip my hat on and thank the Monell staff and everyone who got behind this was that we hosted and participated in the major gathering here in Philadelphia at the end of last year, the Pangborn Sensory Science Symposium. And this is an internationally renowned meeting that brings together sensory scientists from all across the country and all across the globe. But what was great about that meeting is that at Monell we hosted a gathering, a network gathering of people at the centre interested in sensory science. And it was a historic moment for Monell because we had over 300 people come to the centre to learn about what we were doing, share and network. But importantly, of those 300 people, many of those people that came, many of those people that enjoyed, and I'll be honest, we had a little bit of fun as well, all of these people that came, a good proportion of them, over 80% of them had some connection with Monell in the past or had passed through Monell as a postdoc, as a visiting scientist, as a collaborator. And so here, coming to this one event, 300 people that Monell had touched. So that's an achievement. That really showed the impact to me. And it was a historical event for the centre. I think the largest number of people that we've had in the building. So thanks to Mike and the facilities team, and I was really glad that we had the renovated basement to be able to fit everyone. So these sorts of events, they're not just events, they're ways to, well, they're warm welcomes that bring people together. And it's one of the focuses that we are putting a lot of attention onto, to seeing how we can connect our science more broadly and, as David said, make people aware about our science. And so other new initiatives that we've launched, the Celebration of Science, and I will do a blatant shout out to this year's celebration of science. I'm sure some of you have already picked this up and looked at it, but please mark your calendars for November, because we're looking forward to come together and talk more about sensory science in November. But we've also started some interesting initiatives, such as the Monell Alumni Association, targeting connections with Monellians across the globe, across the country, and trying to build and push the Monellian spirit at meetings and working across the city. And so we're really fortunate to have touched the lives of many sensory scientists, and we're really fortunate to be able to link in with them and keep pushing our science forward. So one of the things that you will see in tonight when we talk about it on the rolling slide deck is that when we talk about the success of Monell, we talk about the achievements that we've done. We're talking about all of the hard work that everyone in this room has done. And so when you look at the rolling slides, or if you've had a chance to gaze up and look at the rolling slide decks that have been playing through the evening, what you'll notice is that we've very intentionally made sure that these aren't just slides of Monellians, but they're slides of all of us here. Because all of you matter. Our partners, our supporters, our community. The work that we do doesn't happen in isolation. So now I'd like to turn a little bit to the broader momentum that we've been seeing, and some truly exciting scientific milestone. One of the most significant milestones that the Centre has seen in a number of years is that most recently, and I have to give a shout out to Danny Reid, our Chief Scientific Officer, for her effort here, is that the Centre was recently awarded a major P50 Center Grant. This is a grant that is bringing approximately $12.5 million over 5 years to the centre, so this is a big deal. So I have to, as I said, give thanks to Danny and the team who pulled this off. But P50 centres, just to let everyone know, are designed to tackle complex, high-impact problems through deeply integrated team science. So what better place than Monell to tackle this sort of science? They bring together multiple projects and shared infrastructure to accelerate discovery and translation. So as an institute, Monell delves into the basic science, we delve into the questions, but we're also very keen to say, how can we take our science and leverage it? How can we actually make an impact and move that science forward to help people, to help our communities, to help the world to be healthier? So in our case, this P50 grant is actually focused in on a question that's very near and dear to our hearts and important, that has become both urgent and deeply human. And that question is why some individuals experience persistent loss or disruption of smell and taste following illness and inflammation, including long COVID and other similar infections. This work brings together human studies, tissue biology, and advanced organoid models, as well as some animal work and genetic work, and expands our collaborations with partners like Northwestern, Ohio State, and Penn. So again, here's a project that is ambitious in its goals, dealing with complex science, but bringing together fields and disciplines, pushing the forefronts of science, delving into new areas like new approach methodology such as organoids. And we're doing it here at Monell. We're tackling these complex problems and moving the needle forward, moving our understanding forward. But I'm not going to steal the thunder. We'll hear more about the science of this work and where it's going to be taking across the next 5 years. But what I do want to point out that's extremely important is that although this is a large NIH, a large federal government grant, the work didn't start with this grant. The work started with the support of our donors, the support of our community around Monell, who allowed us to generate preliminary data by supporting our idea, by supporting our mission, by supporting our scientists and their discoveries, their interests in delving into smell loss. We were able to get a leading edge. We were able to tackle these questions and generate data, generate new models, generate new test systems, as I mentioned, like these organoids, these cells in a dish that can smell. So through your support, we were able to generate the data that convinced the federal government to come behind us and support this P50 grant. So in many ways, donor investment really made this P50 possible. And that's the model that we believe here at Monell. Federal funding scales great science, but your support is what starts it. It creates momentum, it allows us to move faster, think bigger, and position Monell at the forefront of emerging challenges. And so we're really excited about this. We hope you are, and we're thankful for all of your support in getting us here. If we want to continue doing that, we need to keep building together this foundation and working together to challenge ourselves and to work at the forefront of chemosensory science. At the same time, we're also investing in something just as important, and that's our people. And tonight, I am thrilled to announce a transformative new gift in support of our MSAP, so the Monell Science Apprenticeship Program, one of our core scientific training programs at the centre. And this gift is generously provided by the Monell Foundation in honour of Dr. Charis Eng. And at this point, I'd like to invite up to the podium Dr. Gary Beauchamp, a member of the Monell Foundation Board, to share a few words on behalf of the Foundation about this generous gift and why it is such a fitting gift in support of our MSAP program because of who it honours. So Gary, could you please come up to the podium and tell us a little bit about the importance of this gift in honouring the legacy of Dr. Eng and also helping support our MSAP program.
So I really appreciate Ben asking me to do this because this was something that's very, very dear to my heart. There you see the picture of Charis. She was a remarkable woman. And I have to give a little background as to why in the world we named this after her. So all of you know that the Monell Center is named after somebody that's right down in front of us, Ambrose Monell. And it was Ambrose and Mauricio that first introduced me to her. She was a person that one of our former directors had identified as somebody who was doing really interesting work at the Cleveland Clinic. And he decided to support her work. And for the for 15 years, we supported her scientific work at the Cleveland Clinic. She was a remarkable woman. She came from Singapore as a girl and first went to New York with her parents, and then came to Chicago because her father was getting a PhD at the University of Chicago. She proceeded to go to the lab school at Chicago, and at the lab school she was obviously excelled, and she entered the University of Chicago at the age of 16 as an undergraduate. Now this is kind of typical of the University of Chicago. She proceeded then to go next to get a PhD and an MD at the University of Chicago in the medical school. And she and I really connected here because that's where I got my PhD. And we tried to find a time, I'm much older than her, but that we might have bumped into each other. But we did have some people in common that we were our teachers. And so that was very special to me. She was trained by, then she left the University of Chicago and was trained at Cambridge University in cancer genetics. And she was really one of the very earliest people doing specifically cancer genetics, particularly in pediatric cases. She then came to the United States, first to Ohio State, and then to the Cleveland Clinic, where she really created their program in cancer genetics. Her major discovery was, to me, has always been remarkable, what was discovery of a particular gene called the P10 gene, which controls and was one of the first genes that were controlling individual cancers. And it controls a lot of rare cancers. And she was establishing this as a field, essentially. The most remarkable thing about this was that the same gene seems to be involved in autism, and how that could be. How could cancer-causing genes be involved in autism? This was her love and what she really, really, really wanted to understand. So she played many other important roles at the Cleveland Clinic. She ran the cancer program there. She received many awards, and she was particularly interested in training. And she trained many, many scientists and kept up with them, talked to them. And one of the most important things about how we discovered her, or I discovered her, I think, is that at the foundation, one of the things we do is we invite people who we give money to. I'm speaking from the foundation now, not the Monell Center. We give money to, because Monell Center doesn't give money to anybody except. But one of the things we do is we have people that we like to talk to who are donees for lunch. And I have to say, I think we invited her to lunch more often than anybody else, because she was just a delight. And she was so enthusiastic about her work, enthusiastic about her science, enthusiastic about her people that she worked with. And she also, I don't know where it came from, I think maybe her father, who was very, very interested in wine, she was an expert in wine. And at these lunches, which were quite elegant, most of us, or none of us, consumed alcoholic beverages because we were busy. You're not supposed to do that anymore. She did every time. And I really admired her for that. Anyway, to our dismay, really great dismay, she died about 2 years ago at age 62. That's way too young. And I was particularly sad because I think she was really on the edge of making the connection between this cancer and autism. And obviously, a whole business about autism is so controversial. But this was somebody that really knew what she was doing, and it was a great loss. And it was a great loss, I think, to those of us, Ambrose and Mauricio, and later Maya, that we no longer had her as somebody that we could be proud of and be happy about her successes. So the Monell Foundation is a medium-sized family foundation that I think is terrifically supportive of science. It supports other things as well, but science is the most important thing. And we supported here for these 15 years. 2 years after she died, Mauricio, sitting down there, apparently was visited by a lawyer. And the lawyer said, I have a surprise for you. Charis has left Monell Foundation $1.3 million. And it was kind of dumbfounding because Monell Foundation gives money, but they don't take it in. At least they haven't much. And so the question was what to do with this gift. And it was Mauricio and Ambrose who made the suggestion that because of her training interests, because of her wonderful support of students, and because of where it fit in so well with her history and her love of science and her love of teaching, why not support our student program that we've been doing for many years with some difficulty in raising funds. And so this was made the decision. I as a Monell actual Monell employee, am not allowed to vote on any of this, but I certainly supported it. It was agreed that we would use this money as an endowment for the summer program. Now, most of you probably know what that's about, but basically, beginning more than 30 years ago, we established a program that was, I think, almost unique at the time, as far as I know, of training young high school and some beginning college students during summers in science. And the great thing about that program was that the students came and they worked with individual faculty members. They actually had to get to actually be there 7 hours a day because they got paid. And that's quite unusual for that kind of program. They then would do a project with the PIs that they worked with, and then have poster sessions where they could bring their parents and whatever. And this thing was created really by my colleague here, who I'm so proud of, Julie Manella. Julie started it. I can't even remember whether it was before she finished her postdoc or afterwards. We could ask her. But she created it and she designed it, and it has been a remarkable success. It's continued on. Paul Breslin, Joel Mainland, and Tiffany Hyatt are doing it now and doing a very good job of continuing it. But I really want to shout out to Julie because she was the one that had the vision and the creativeness to do this. This is not enough money to keep to really fund the program, but it gives a sort of fundamental longevity to it because it will generate, 1.3 million generates about $55,000 a year. That'll take care of 4 or 5 students. We usually have 10 or 12 or 15. So those of you who are helping to support this, you still got to keep doing it. You can't give up yet. But I am just so happy about this because I can think of Charis and obviously we can't tell her this, but from my knowledge of her and from my really deep love of her, I think she would be so happy this is what her money is going to. So thank you.
Thank you, Gary, and also a huge and special thanks once again to the Monell Foundation. It really is a privilege to be able to, for the centre to be able to continue on the legacy of Dr. Eng. And as Gary pointed out, we also want to highlight that this legacy builds on the support of other MSAP donors and committed partners like Joe and Andrew Brand, James Albrecht, Rick Berkman and Tony Siddell, and so many others who keep this program alive, running well, providing scientific opportunities to young Philadelphians, young Pennsylvanians, and also students from across the country. So thank you very much to all of you for the support of this program, and we look forward to next year's cohort actually starting very soon and hearing about the exciting science that they're going to be working on. In addition to supporting our people, I think, yep, I've got the next slide right. We're also continuing to strengthen the partnerships that connect our science to real-world application. And for those of you who were with us last year and have been keeping up with some of our announcements, we announced the inaugural Manheimer Scholarship. And I'm really excited and pleased to be able to announce this year that we're moving forward with the first cohort under that scholarship. And so I have to send a huge thanks to Kerry for their support of this program. Another wonderful training program for Monell, this time focused more on graduate students and post-bac, giving them the opportunity to come to Monell, work with some of our scientists and get experience and training at the centre. So we're very thankful for Kerry and also Steve for this gift. But as I said, we're getting into the full swing, and I'm very, very happy to announce the first cohort of Manheimer Scholars, Yixing Jia and Aurora Anderson. And I don't know if Yixing and Aurora are here, but if they can stand up and maybe give a wave. So we're really excited to see where their science takes them and takes ideas at Monell, and hopefully we'll hear from some of it. But just to give you a brief feeling of what they're working on, Yixing's project is going to investigate how saliva minerals influence the lingering aftertaste of sugar alternatives, with the goal of improving the flavour and consumer acceptance of reduced sugar foods. So that's something that's extremely important today with the obesity crisis that we have. And Aurora's project is taking Monell further into the world of data science and computational science, and really an area that I think Monell has a lot of possibility to drive forward through projects like this and work of our faculty like Joel Mainland and others. But her project is looking at combining computational modelling and sensory testing, so two things that we're very good at, to identify primary odours or aromas that can recreate complex food flavours more efficiently and with higher precision and predictability. So congratulations again to both of you, and we look forward to hearing about your achievements as this work moves forward. So. Okay, so as I close, I do want to come back a little bit to where I started, that this has been a year of a lot of momentum for Monell. We've had a lot of exciting things happening, but it's going to be a busy year. We've got a lot more exciting things happening. We've got our board meeting tomorrow, where we're going to be talking about a number of great initiatives for the centre, and I hope that we'll be able to be sharing about those initiatives with you all soon. But what's important to us moving forward and moving our science forward is our connection to our partners, our connection to our community, and the connection between the science we do and the impact we want to have in this world. And so that brings me to one final piece of exciting news that I'd like to share about one of our new faculty members, someone who you'll be hearing about tonight and his wonderful science. But I'd like to have you all join me in congratulating one of our new faculty members, Dr. Neeraj Lal, who has just been named a Cell Scholar. So Neeraj, maybe you can stand up as well. So just to let you know, this is a mean feat. It's not an easy thing to be named a Cell Scholar, and we're really, really proud of Neeraj and his achievements. It's a highly prestigious and competitive award recognising, and this comes from their description, exceptional early career scientists. So Neeraj was selected from more than 200 nominees nationwide, so it's a tremendous achievement, and as I said, a proud moment for Monell. It speaks not only to the originality and impact of his work, but also to the strength of the environment we are building here at Monell with Neeraj and other faculty members, and one that attracts and supports outstanding scientific talent. So on that note, I'm going to close. Thank you all again for being here. Thank you all for your partnership and making our journey possible. And I'm going to invite Danny Reed up, I believe, to, or I'm not sure, I'm messing up potentially Rachel's program. I'm not sure if Pam's going to get up first or Danny, but to come up to the podium to kick off tonight's main event, where you'll actually be hearing from Neeraj. But before I let Danny take the mic, let me just say thank you to you all, and a huge thanks to the Monell staff for putting on this event tonight, for the hard work over the last year, for the hard work that we're going to be doing over the next year, and for making Monell such a wonderful place to be and pushing our science forward. So thank you to everyone.